We're back with another DM's Guild review. This time, I'll be reviewing the Joy of Monster Cooking Devilish Desserts. This is a sequel to the DM's Guild bestseller Joy of Monster Cooking, which I did a review of in the past. And one of the authors of it is my good friend Lex, who you may know as Shifter from our Rod of Seven Parts campaign that streams on Wednesdays. So if you want to see what's inside and how to cook up some fiendishly devilish desserts, stay tuned. And I can tell you, as a fan of diners, drive-ins, and dives, that this is going to be out of bounds. What's going on, folks? Ted from Nerd Immersion here, and it's actually not released on the DM's Guild yet. I have an advanced copy for review purposes, so I can't actually show you what it looks like on the DM's Guild. I'm just going to have to go into the document itself and show you that. So let's take a look. Here it is. Joy of Monster Cooking. You can see by Chris Boudreau and Lex Mandrake. So there's a little bit of forward. There's informations about baking with the damned, and then there are 8 different recipes. So what I do want to tell you, or maybe there's 9. No, I think it's just 8. It is, so the concept of this devilish desserts, I should also point out, it is not an actual cookbook. It's not going to tell you how to actually make things that you can eat in real life. You might be able to take these recipes and try to do that, but it's designed for you to do this in a Dungeons and Dragons scenario. So the first Joy of Monster Cooking was, again, talking more monsters. This is very focused on devils, hence the name Devilish Desserts. But it also is a good, I guess, a good thing to coincide if you're running a Baldur's Gate Descent to Avernus game, because of the kind of devilish aspects, and we'll talk a little bit about that. So there's also, I will say, Lex is very, very good, and I don't know what parts he wrote exactly on this, but very, very good at writing like evocative and descriptive texts for things, and really putting a lot of good background and I don't know, flavor text, I guess, is what the word is. So the forward, and even just like the kind of narrative that's told throughout the document, the cookbook really, is very well done. And again, really, I don't know, if you know Lex, it's very, very him. So there's a little bit of rules about here with baking with the damned, and you can see there's rules for cooking in hell. It says the endless suffering of the nine hells offers some interesting side effects on those partaking in the fiendish cuisine, as you may roll on this alternative table when preparing your dish. So basically there's a DC set for each recipe, and depending on what the DC is, you can see the options here. So if the DC is 7 or less, I guess I'm assuming, yeah, it's actually, with the way I read that, it kind of seems a little funky, but anyway, gut-wrenching failure is a 7 or less. Gain permanent random flaw from the table below, or gain only the negative effect from the recipe, right? Recipes have positive and negative effects, and we'll talk about that. And you can see that this changes, right? 8 to 11 is gain a random flaw from the list below for 1 hour. 12 to 17 is the positive and negative effects. The 8 and 18 or more is both the positive and negative effects and remove a flaw gained from eating a dish. And if you see right here, flaws are like, I covet a particular item, I'm paranoid of an NPC. They're just good things to kind of add more flavor to the game. And then I really like this section. It's so simple and silly, but I really enjoy it. It is all about how you are in hell, in theory, when you're making these things. How are you going to get stuff like dairy or sugar or flour? And there are 4 examples of each for covering sweets, grains, dairy, and eggs. And it's just so interesting to see the different thought process that was put into how are you going to make substitutions for things, right? So it says, so if you're trying to get sweets, it says, right, the Batorian agave or hell cactus is common to Avernus. Within its nest of razor-sharp leaves is a spiny flower that contains a powerfully sweet juice, right? We have, for grains, there's a brackish tuber, grows along the banks of the stagnant rivers of Dis. If dried and powdered, it makes an excellent black flour. For dairy, there is Stygian lamprey seals. Lard is a fantastic butter substitute. Harpooning them off the ice floes is as easy as long as you avoid the larger predators. And then for eggs, it says crab apples of the Monaro swamp tree, when pureed, make a great egg alternative. Just make sure you peel the human-like skin first. And again, there's this kind of theory and this concept and flavor for all of this. And then we have a bunch of different recipes. And you can see there's background on the recipe. Then there's going into why you're making it. Then it talks about the ingredients you're going to need. Then the actual process to make it. And then the positive and negative side effects. And again, for some, like, this is taking something and being like, okay, you make a check and then do this thing. This is really, it goes to another level to describe. And which one did I want to read to you? So, right, so here's the Maragon marzipan. I'll read you this one here. What's behind those masks? What are they hiding? Why strap a face onto something that doesn't speak? My mind was on fire, my thoughts full of Maragons. There was a deep secret behind those masks. I knew it. Something core to the inner workings of the hells. It must be grand cosmic horror, a truth one dare not reveal. I ordered a dead Maragon and got to my work. Took me 15 minutes with a bolt cutter to get the damn thing off. The truth unveiled. It's just a squishy head. It's a small, featureless, leathery round of blackened flesh. Peel away the fragile skin, and you expose what I can only describe as skull pudding. When scooped and mashed, it turns into a pretty good adhesive. I rolled it with almond meal, and here we are. Maragons don't make good conversationalists, but they do make good marzipan. So to make the Maragon marzipan, you will need 3 tablespoons of Maragon skull pudding, 1 cup of almonds ground into a meal, 1 cup of finely powdered sugar, and 2 teaspoons of rose water. Sift almond meal and powdered sugar into a large mixing bowl. Add rose water and skull jelly to dry ingredients and stir using either a spoon or clean hands until the almond meal is hydrated and the mixture takes on a tacky dough texture. Move the dough to a clean work surface and knead until the dough is smooth and pliable. Roll the dough into a log-shaped wrapping cloth and store in cool, dry place until used. Cut and form marzipan into unique shapes, perhaps little marzipan figures of your enemies. Dip them in melted chocolate and eat. Serve with hot tea, coffee, or cocoa. So what's interesting is that was obviously a fake recipe for marzipan, made from Maragon's skull pudding. Excuse me. But you could take a lot of these and just replace the fiendish ingredient with an actual real life ingredient, and you will probably get what you're looking for. And I just think that's kind of funny. So what happens is a minion complex. Consuming this dish causes a shift in your priorities. The positive effect is for the first hour after eating, when a friendly creature within 5 feet of you is hit with an attack, you can cause the attack to hit yourself instead. And the negative effect is for the first hour after eating, whenever you're given an order by anyone, make a DC 10 wisdom saving throw or follow their orders to the best of your ability. And you can see here as we scroll through, there's cool art and there's other things dealing with the different kinds of fiends you're working on, what kind of dish you are creating. All right, so let's keep going. You can just kind of see, we'll do a quick scroll through here. So here's the Orthon flan. Let's see what the positive and negatives are for this one. Eating this dessert bestows some powerful stealth abilities, but also makes your body incredibly unstable. The positive is for an hour after consuming this dish, you may use a bonus action to become invisible. Any equipment you are wearing or carrying is also invisible as long as the equipment is on your person. It ends immediately after you take an attack, make an attack roll or are hit by an attack. And the negative is for 1 hour after consuming it, you are reduced to 15 hit points. When you are reduced to 15 hit points or lower, your body explodes. All creature within 30 feet of you must make a DC 17 Dex save or take 2d8 fire damage plus 2d8 thunder damage on a failed save or half on a success. So the negative of making this really delicious sounding flan is you die. When you get to 15 hit points or lower, you explode. And then again, we have the Pit Fiend's food cake. That's kind of the last one on here. And I do like that. I think the negative side effect is an Infernal Contract. And you can see some of the other products right here's the Joy of Monster Cooking and a few other things put out by Lex. So, as I stated at this point, it's not available on the DM's Guild as of the time of me recording this. So I think the first Joy of Monster Cooking was $1.95, so I gotta imagine it's gonna be right around there. Obviously, you can take these concepts and expand them beyond what's listed here and use this in your own game and use this as a template. But honestly, in my opinion, one of the best things about this is just the background flavor text, like listening to what Lex did to why this person is cooking in hell and how they accidentally signed in a contract when they were trying to sell more copies of the Joy of Monster Cooking. There's like a whole lore to this cookbook, and I just really, really enjoy it. I mean, and again, the first Joy Monster Cooking is the best gold seller for a reason. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. It is 4.5 stars for 30 ratings and a best gold seller. The first one did also come with chef's utensils, a background chef, two new magic items, and then 18 different recipes. So I definitely would say check out Devilish Desserts. If you guys want to talk about diners, drive-ins, and dives, you can leave your comments down below. I love that show. Also, new setup here. I moved my screens and everything were more to my left, which I guess will be your right. And I've been doing some cleaning, and obviously you've seen me working on other projects. By the way, the Dungeon Door video is in the editing bay. I shifted everything over because I kept bumping into the side of my desk, this that you see over here. I felt kind of cramped, and now I have like a lot more open room. Plus, I'm going to put a third monitor up on the wall above me here. But I want to know, because I don't really have a good idea for where I want to place cameras and mics and stuff, right? So like I could do the thing, like I could be like, what's going on, guys? Ted here, and we're really right up on the mic. But I personally hate this look when I'm doing a video. I hate having the microphone in my face. I recognize that it's probably very good and the sound is much, much better and not as reverby, and I'm working on reducing that. But I don't know. I just don't like the visual of this being in my face. So I don't know if I should take the camera. I mean, I could keep this and move the camera over to the side and get you a side angle coming from this way or maybe from this way, keep the mic way out of the way, maybe adjust the camera. I want to know what your thoughts are. I also have found out that I can get clean HDMI out on my one camera, so we might be upgrading to, SLR cameras going forward. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. I want to adjust this setup and make it nice because I want to finish setting up everything so I can do a nice tour, house tour kind of a thing. Anyway, thank you to my patrons on I said that right. Patrons on Patreon for continuing to support me. And also, we have officially, as of recording of this video, broke 40,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is absolutely bananas. And I thank you all so much for helping me get there. My goal originally was to hit 50,000 by my birthday on July 12th. It's pretty close. That's 10,000 subscribers in a little over 3 weeks. Can we do it? Well, I can only ask for your help in spreading the word and subscribing if you haven't already. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.